Understanding is the most precious possession of each soul. It is your inner vision, the intuitive faculty by which you can clearly perceive the truth about yourself and others and all situations that arise in your path, and correctly adjust your attitudes and actions accordingly. That is a big definition. In this world, our understanding is often short-sighted. When our mental vision is thus impaired, it is impossible to see into the future to know what will be. Being blinded to the potential results of our actions, we frequently do the wrong thing. In order to get along well in this world, you must learn to perceive accurately your immediate circumstances and surroundings, and to perceive also what you are headed for in the distant future. You should have such keen and perceptive insight that you will be able to tell what your life is going to be 2 years or 10 years hence. If your eyes are short-sighted, you can only see clearly things that are very near to you. And if you have long-sighted vision, you can clearly see and distinguish objects in the distance, but not those close to you. Whether you are short-sighted or long-sighted, the remedy is corrective glasses. Otherwise, your vision will be blurred and you will not see things as they are. Similarly, if your understanding is short-sighted or long-sighted, it is time for you to put on the mental glasses of attention, the ability to focus the mind so that its perceptions are clear and accurate. Thus, the power of understanding is increased by attention. Conversely, restlessness, that which ruffles and diffuses the mind, blurs vision and causes misunderstanding. Emotion blurs your vision. Moods blur your vision. Most people act not out of understanding, but according to their moods. Prejudices also blur your vision. These preconceived notions distort your understanding and prevent you from seeing clearly. In my experience with the great ones in India, the first thing I learned was to clear my vision of all forms of restlessness and mental prejudice that might blur my understanding. It often happens that understanding has been prejudiced from childhood, according to environment and circumstances. Such a warped understanding cannot see any situation clearly. You should analyze the many prejudices that your understanding is subject to. Anytime you are making a decision or taking action, ask yourself if you are doing it through understanding or through emotion or some other prejudicial influence on your mind. As long as you are subject to greed or anger, as long as you are influenced by the wrong thinking of others, as long as you are affected by the misunderstanding of others, so long will your own understanding be unclear. Because of prejudices, moods, and emotions, you do not always see your own mind as it really is. Therefore, it is wise to find some spiritual teacher or teachings that can show you how to analyze and correct your thoughts. They have real understanding who have fellowship with God. All souls who are of the divine have clarified their understanding by attunement with His wisdom. Association with them will give you light. I respected my guru, Swami Sri Yukteswarji, not only because he was my spiritual teacher, but because he gave me that understanding. Any clarity in my vision I owe entirely to him, not to my family or anyone else. No one loved parents more than I loved mine, but the clarity of vision my guru taught me made me unshakable in the path of truth. I remember when I left home and went to Banaras to renounce the world, I was after something much greater than money could afford. I had analyzed the lives of those who had money, and I didn't want to live their kind of life. I knew I would regret it if I tried. I saw that others had many things that I might have wanted, and I analyzed what would happen to me if I followed their path. I saw clearly that I would never have been happy. While I was in Banaras, God led me to my guru. Later, in his ashram, I said to him one day, "I am called to my home. I must go to see my father. He loves me very much." Master knew my family would try to hold me. "Better not go," he advised. "You may not be able to come back." But I said, "Guruji, I promise I will return," for I knew there was no other life for me. Love for our parents and attachment to our parents are different things. Attachment clouds understanding. Divine love is never blinded. I know that I love my parents more than anyone else in the family does, and that by giving my life to God, I have done much more for them than I would otherwise have been able to. When I went home, my father, who is not given to emotion, was so grateful to see me that he had tears in his eyes. "You have come back," he said. "I am glad." In those few words, there was much meant. His affection was so deep, he never wanted to express it outwardly. As a great saint once said, "The moment you utter your love, some of that pure feeling has flown from your heart and become mixed with the foulness of the mouth. The germs and taint of the lips have soiled it." God loves you more than anybody else. That is why he doesn't tell you. He shows his love silently through demonstrations. As I progressed on the spiritual path, I received more love from God than I ever could have from any human being. But to get back to my story, as I stood before my father, he asked me to remain at home to take the place of my elder brother who had passed on. "Suppose I die?" Father said. "Who will look after your younger brothers and your sisters?" "Father," I replied, "I love you more than anyone else in this world, but I love God more, he who gave me such a father. How could I leave the God who had blessed me with such a loving parent? If the Heavenly Father hadn't put that love in his heart, how could my earthly father love me?" Duty to God fulfills duty to all, because without him, we would not have any loved ones. This is true understanding. Father couldn't say anything further. He understood. And when I went away again, singing, "I am crossing the river of delusion, I shall not turn back lest I weaken," everyone in the house was weeping. By worldly standards, it seemed very cruel to leave them, but through that renunciation, the greatest blessing came to me and to them. By serving God first, I could do far more for them spiritually than by any material aid I could offer. A few years later, when I returned with Illumination, I took Father to see my boys' school at Ranchi, and he said, "I am not worthy of you." Then he told me, "I am glad now that you didn't turn back to take the railway job I wanted you to accept." Life without understanding is spiritual and material suicide. Blessed are those who have understanding. It is the greatest need on the spiritual path and on the path of life. Understanding is the searchlight that illumines your way and brings success. Before you can attain the crowning goal of this life, you must have that important faculty. So never be blind, never be misunderstanding. It is spiritual and material suicide. Understanding should be your guiding force in every situation. No matter what your trials, try to understand. God never causes harm or suffering to anyone. It is we who, by understanding or misunderstanding, help or hinder ourselves. Pray to God that no matter what experiences come to you, you may have understanding. It is the only thing that will save you. When my trials become very great, I first seek understanding in myself. I don't blame circumstances or try to correct anybody else. I go inside first. I try to clean the citadel of my soul to remove anything that obstructs the soul's all-powerful, all-wise expression. That is the successful way to live. To fly away from problems may seem the easiest solution, but you gain strength only when you wrestle with a strong opponent. One who doesn't have difficulties is one who doesn't grow. When you have understanding, you have no fears. In understanding lies security. Many, many trials I have faced in life. The most difficult of all are those with human beings because they do not understand. I have seen people I have loved, people to whom I have given my heart, misunderstand. But that has never created bitterness in me. If bitterness arises in your heart out of the non-understanding of others, you will lose your own understanding. Do not let yourself feel hurt when someone misunderstands you. Rather, pay more attention to helping that person. If you can neutralize your feelings toward those who misunderstand you, you will be ever ready to help anyone and everyone. All those who follow this path of self-realization must hold nothing but goodwill for all. Understanding must have both heart and head. Understanding is the vision of your inner being, the sight of your soul, the telescope of your heart. Understanding is a balance of calm intelligence and purity of heart. Emotion is not love. Emotion is distorted feeling that will lead you to do the wrong thing. And understanding that is guided solely by the intellect is cold-blooded. It too will teach you to do wrong. There are people you can't even talk to unless you rouse their emotion, and others you cannot move except by reason. Men sometimes become intellectually ossified, and women occasionally become emotionally unreasonable. You must have balanced understanding. If your understanding is governed by both heart and head, then you have clear vision to see yourself and others. You will also be able to know and assess what others are thinking of you. True understanding tells you when you are right or wrong. When you are right, Someone may say you are wrong, and you can be wrong, and somebody may say you are right. Now, if you have understanding, you know in your heart whether you are right or wrong. You have to watch and correct yourself. Suppose someone tells you that what you are doing is wrong. Then you should go into the inner sanctum of your heart and find out if you are in error. Analyze your motives. If you are wrong, correct yourself. Those persons who have the greatest understanding are the ones whose opinions and guidance are to be trusted. That is why I trusted Master so completely. I could talk to him as openly as I could talk to myself. To cultivate that kind of understanding, learn to keep your mind free of all prejudices when you talk to people. If your understanding is clear, you can love and help others without being hurt or without hurting anyone else. It is most wonderful when you can love all beings, when you can see their good and bad points, without the prejudices of your own mind, and without the prejudices that others have. You will learn to love each one truly when your love is no longer conditioned by your personal desires. When you have that understanding, no one can hurt you. Sorrow comes when a desire is not satisfied. Pleasure comes when a desire is fulfilled. Thus our happiness comes and goes. That is why Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, "Be even-minded in pleasure and sorrow." He doesn't tell you to be callous or hard like a stone. He tells you to learn understanding. When you live in that impregnable castle of understanding, no sorrow can touch you, no disease or tortures of the flesh can reach you. Use understanding to chalk out your path and the future progress of your soul. It will enable you to find the right course without being prejudiced by anything. If you want to hold on to your understanding, love and respect all, but never be prejudiced by anybody or by your own thoughts, because it will be disastrous. As soon as the world is able to confuse you, you will be lost. But if you have a clear understanding, then no matter what clouds others try to create, you will see what is right. Understanding is your savior. I remember the many who came to Master and later left because they were non-understanding. But I said to myself, many may come and many may go, but I will keep on forever. Master was a very strict disciplinarian. Others fled from his incisive wisdom, but I told him one day, there is one person you will not be able to drive away, and that is myself. I am proud that I kept that promise because his guidance made me clear-sighted. Very few people know in what lies their own good. As a result of misunderstanding, they often do the very things that will hurt them. When I say something vehemently, it is not because of any hurt I feel from the actions of others, but because of the hurt those actions are going to do to them. If you are hurt by the wrong behavior of others and let your heart go blind, then you cannot truly love those persons. But when you can keep your understanding clear, then you can help those you love. You can see the springboard of their actions, the course of their actions, and what those actions will lead to. Some people readily respond to what I say, but others do not, because they don't understand in what lies their own good. Whenever I try to guide people, it is only because of an earnest desire to show them what is best for them. I never try to use any person for my own ends. No one. Many people think they have understanding, but it doesn't hold up under testing. Put yourself in all kinds of adverse situations, get yourself talked against, be the butt of ridicule and hate, and watch your reactions. If you are not inwardly disturbed, if you can dismiss all feelings of hurt and injustice and keep only love in your heart, that is real understanding. In the ashram, my guru used to constantly change me from one position of responsibility to another. He wanted my complete understanding in all circumstances, that my devotion to him and my peace of mind be not conditioned by any position in which he placed me. When I reached that evenness of understanding, it gave me unbounded happiness. It is wonderful to live that way. Most of the time, people talk and act from their own viewpoint. They seldom see, or even try to see, the other person's side. If, lacking understanding, you enter into a fight with someone, remember that each of you is as much to blame as the other, regardless of which one started the argument. Fools argue, wise men discuss. It is sarcasm that arouses anger. If truth spoken with kindness angers anyone, that can't be helped. They are your best friends who have true understanding and who, when you seek their counsel, dare to tell you the truth. When your watch isn't keeping time correctly, you check it against a chronometer. So mix with those who are wise and who are unafraid to tell you your faults. That is the value of your real friends. They are your chronometer. Always be sincere. Never give others the impression that you agree with them when you do not mean it. You are a hypocrite if you outwardly agree with people rather than let them know your real thoughts. Violation of sincerity is a great sin. As soon as you deliberately deceive somebody, your understanding becomes clouded. As a result, you will attract hypocritical friends. If you want understanding, you must give understanding. You must love all with the love you give to your parents, children, and other dear ones. That all-inclusive love is the most wonderful consciousness. Materially speaking, you are nobody to me because we are not related by blood. But I have worked for you more than I have for my own family, night and day thinking how many souls will be happy if I can do my part to make them so. I know I have succeeded with some people. Many, many have found salvation. But it is a very hard job. I tell you, when you try to enforce your authority, nobody wants to obey it. But if you exercise your authority with love and wisdom, it becomes the greatest guide to help others. That unshakable assistance I give to you is the searchlight on your path. It must not be blacked out by any prejudices. Don't oscillate in keeping your good resolutions. All good resolutions must be kept. The more you try to materialize your good resolutions, the stronger you will become. Be like the saint who said, "I made up my mind to have a walk every morning, but sometimes circumstances prevented it. On those occasions, even if it was late evening, I still went on that walk, lest my mind weaken in its resolution." Before you make up your mind to do something, be sure that it is a good resolution to make. Once you have made up your mind, it is not good to oscillate, because to do so will weaken your willpower. A resolution should not be changed unless the facts overwhelmingly justify it. Otherwise, wherever you go, your mental weaknesses will be with you. If you go to a forest, can you leave your weakness behind? No. Wherever you are, there you must win your victory. You do not win by flying away or giving up. It is easy to make yourself miserable if you do not have understanding. I could justly reason, the world does not understand me. Why be in this materialistic land when I could enjoy the greatest spiritual freedom in the Himalayas with Babaji? But if you have understanding, you say, wherever I am, I must conquer. If you conquer yourself within yourself, all the weaknesses of your mind, all the habits that beat you down, you are a real conqueror. You must never admit defeat. Only when you have admitted defeat are you defeated. Stand by what is right. A little while we are here on earth, and then we are gone. Don't be attached or bound to anything. When I was first asked to be a citizen of this country, I refused because I didn't want to be called a citizen of any country. My country is all nations. I am a citizen of the world. My father is God. My family is all mankind. Who can deny me that? If I fight, I will fight for justice. I will defend America when she is right, and I will not fight for her when she is wrong. I will fight for India if she is right, but I will not defend her if she is wrong. Wherever your country is right, support it. Wherever your family is right, stand by them. Wherever your friends are right, cooperate with them. You see how clear it is? You cannot deny the correctness of this principle. That is the divine spirit taught by Krishna and Christ and all great ones. That is what is going to bring lasting peace in this world. I will tell you a little story. There was a Muslim judge who was a very orthodox and prejudiced man. A Hindu villager was brought before him, and the judge asked what the charge was. The villager said, "Your Honor, I have to declare to you that your bull, fighting with my bull, broke the horns of my bull so that he is dying." The judge replied, "Well, you know animals will fight. Case dismissed." Hearing this, the shrewd villager said, "Your Honor, I have made a mistake. What I meant to say was that my bull has broken the horns of your bull. It is your bull that is dying." The judge was furious and fined the man $50. When it was the judge's bull that was dying, his judgment became different. The moral is, always be a judge who is fair, who has understanding. Try yourself and your motives first. Whenever there is a doubt in your heart, judge yourself before your own inner tribunal. Find understanding through communion with God. Every day, analyze yourself. See how you are progressing. As you learn to analyze yourself impartially, you will be able to understand yourself and others. That is the true way of life. If you live and die in understanding, you will find immortality. My aim is not just to build a large organization. I am trying to build the lives of people around the teachings of Self-Realization Fellowship, Yoga Satsanga Society. That is why I don't try to have big congregations in the temples. We want those who will commune with God. He cannot be known by intellectualizing or by hearing emotional sermons that create inner excitement. What I have inside is something very sacred to me. I can't talk at random. I speak what I have verified by my own realization and experiences of life. That is why these truths are real to me. I don't come here to give you sermons, but to give you those truths that I garner from the garden of my experience. I come as the wind of heaven, bearing the fragrance of truth from the Father. I seek nothing from you for myself. My only wish is to give you that fragrance divine and then disappear again in His bosom. What I give to you, I want you to realize for yourself through your own personal communion with God. Nothing can match that understanding. You must make the effort to find God for yourself. You must not depend on the words of others. Do you want somebody else to eat your food for you? Would you enjoy it that way? When you have understanding, you enjoy its fruit in your own soul. And when your understanding is that of God, you are free from all misunderstanding and limitation. No evil can touch you. What happiness lies in that realization?